here, and welcome to my 100th and final episode of my OpenTTD Series 6 Quad Challenge UK Let's Play. I hope you have all enjoyed the series so far, and I'd like to invite you to put down in the comments what your favourite part of this series has been over the last 100 episodes. I think I've got my favourites, but I want to know what yours are too. Now, before we get going and move on to Series 10 that will be starting in the beginning of 2023, so keep a close eye out for that, we're going to be taking a look at the last of your game saves. And there's some good ones here to check out today, so let's look at our first submission. The first game save we're going to look at today is by Gravity Sucks, and the company is Gravity Moves Stuff, which I guess that's certainly true. We've got a fantastic company here with lots and lots of trains, some aircraft, and lots of road vehicles too. The company has a value of about 0.8 billion, which is fantastic there, and we've got 55 million in the bank account. Not a lot of money, but when you are investing heavily in an infrastructure which is making you money, that is very important. If we look at the operating profit, we can see it's high and it's strong. Also strong is this line of road going up and down the highway challenge here. Not much to say about this. A simple road connecting the highway up. That challenge was just a tick there. We'll have a quick look at the challenges and then we'll have a look and see what else was going on. Jumping down to Hull Beach, this is one where we have a vast amount of ships helping to transfer things in and out this highly densely packed area. And at the end game save, so the game technically ends on January the 1st, 2051. This is the year 2050, so it is pretty much the same. And if we have a look here, last month we managed to shift here, or I say Gravity Sucks managed to shift 25,000 crates of goods. And that, okay, only 36% of that was transported. That is a tiny number. That tells me there is a lot coming in, but not a massive amount coming out. But it does look quite good. There's actually a whole beach town there that's been growing really big. I'm really surprised that the land around here has not been purchased. But maybe this is like their end game. Like they're not going to be upgrading it anymore. We can see we've got some forced double depots down here. That's all good. We've got optional depots on the way in. Optional double depots on the way in. Forced depots there on the way out, which is quite a nice way of doing it. All of the stations are row to get really good flow, and the use of boat spam to get lots and lots of tons of stuff moved in a very small area nice and cleanly. And Wisbeach has even got surrounded by the railway tracks down there. Looks like the goods might be coming down to London. Let's check out London. I mean, it's not one of the challenges, but it's always nice to see growing out massively there. We've even got an airport in the middle of London, as well as a London North station. We can actually have a look inside and see that the HQ is in there, along with some, is that trams? Yep, we've got a tram service going around London. I wonder if these trams are picking people up and transferring them at London North. No, they're not. They're just doing the route. They're just going around, which is nice to see. We can follow, we've got a southern line that goes through Southampton down here. There's an airport down there too. And into Exeter, which is getting close to 500,000 people. Again, we've got a large airport in the middle. We've got a nice station down here, absolutely crammed full of passengers. And presumably nearly all of them want to go to London. Oh my goodness, right, there's quite a few different places that people can go to. We've got New Now Here Town, which is an interesting name of a town. So definitely doing well on this challenge. With all this stuff that's going on, I wonder what happened over for the New Island Challenge. So let's have a look at the map here. Go over and, oh, yep, here we go. Looks like there's some here too. So for their New Island Challenge, they have 3 separate islands with some bridging between them, and a 4th one at the back called New £1 Billion Island. I think I know where most of their cash went. We've got a new Highland Island and an airport on the top of it there. You know what? I think that gets point just for its comedic value, if nothing else. So then we've got newish Tomato Island, and then we've got new Nowhere. Oh, okay. So this looks like where a lot of the things are going to. Maybe this airport is connected to Exeter via these aeroplanes. Yeah, look, Exeter Airport. So New Island is connected. We've got, oh, actually, there's some little tiny islands down here that I didn't see. We've got a Forest Island and an old New Island with just one little house on it. Fantastic, and ships and what looks to be a land bridge for a fast connection over to that's part of England, the north of England, just above Liverpool there at Southport. Fantastic. Let's go around and look at some of the other highlights in this area. If we look at the detailed performance rating, what a non-surprise there, 900. 900 is relatively easy to get. And most people don't even bother trying to get this minimum profit one. It's so difficult. And if we look at these road vehicles, and there are a lot of road vehicles, 605 road vehicles here. If we do profit last year, minus 17,000, minus 17,000, minus 15. Scrolling through the numbers here. In fact, nearly all of the, oh my goodness. Negative, 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 negative. Whoa, there we go. We just jump into the positives around here. And you can see by my scroll bar, I would say roughly only 15% of those 600 road vehicles are making a profit. Let's look at those finances. There we go. Look at the finances here. So this finance screen is a little bit difficult to read sometimes. There's a lot of stuff in there and the totals don't seem to be divvied out just right. But in version 13, they're improving this. And I'm doing a spotlight video for OpenTTD version 13. It may have even come out. So if you're interested to know about the changes and additions to the game, keep an eye out for that video. It will be on my YouTube channel. So looking here, road vehicle income is actually at 26 million last year. What? Road vehicle income's at 26 million, even though we've got these. It must be to do with transfers. That's the only thing I can really think about it. Because, I mean, oh, okay, hang on a second. It counts the trams. It counts the trams, and we've got trams coming at 500,000 here. So that's 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4, 5, 6, 7, and all of these bits added up, probably, yes, make a good amount. In fact, if you take the trams off the bottom, I would say probably less than 10% of the road vehicles are actually making a profit there. But look at this, train income, 906 million. Last year, there was property maintenance of 600 million, but to be honest, that is nicely outstripping the pace of the income there. So really good solid income. You can see here that the airports are costing nearly 50 million a year, which is actually relatively small compared to the signals. Signals at 58 million per year. So it is a massive infrastructure of network. I mean, if we go to the map view and just switch to it like this and just come out a little bit, you can see that we've got a big spread of various different things. Of course, the flat-ish land of the Central and East Midlands, very attractive to railway builders, of course. And with the Whole Beach Factory Challenge being round there as well, that was definitely a focus hub as well. There is a large town here. What's this one? Swindon. Okay, this is one that I haven't seen grown before, I don't think. We've got a large town growing here at Swindon, and they got the interesting depot system here. I have used these before myself. I think I did it in season 9 for my what was it, my Steel Town Firs let's play, where the railway vehicles, the trains, come in on either a central or external line, and then they go in these depots and come back out into the stations. And this has a number of advantages because it's kind of like a ro-ro with a little bit of slow down halfway through. But you can stack trains in these depots. So the trains will go into those depots and they won't come out until there is a platform free, which means you don't get trains waiting on your main line queuing up going into stations, which is absolutely fantastic. It's a good way of doing things. There are some downsides to this, that the flow of having the trains having to go into those depots, turn around and come back out again. I mean, there are 2 depots there, but it's not... I wouldn't use this for a high flow terminus like a steel place, so a place producing lots and lots of steel or picking up lots and lots of goods. Not unless you had that pattern replicated a lot. You might be able to get away with it then. But overall, fantastic. Let's have a look, see what we've got here. So we've got more double depots. Double depots are always good. The forbidden bits of track removed as well. So that's, some of them are forced, some of them are not. And of course, part of the challenge this series was playing with normal breakdowns, which is actually higher than the normal amount. By default, it's set to reduced, and we notched that up. For Season 10, we'll be putting it back to the default setting of reduced breakdowns. Some people won't like that because they like playing with no breakdowns at all, but I like to try and stick as true to the game as possible and on as many default settings as possible without making it too easy. I like to have that small extra little bit of challenge, and I think reduced is a good balance between the two. But looking at this network, obviously long trains here. We've got a long how long are these platforms? Let's have a look here. 15 length, so using the full allowed length for this series. It's all going through. Long trains, especially when going over long distance and that sort of thing, is really good. You can see that the signal spacing, even though the trains are 15 in length, the signal spacing looks like it's been set to 6. A nice compromise, I think. If you didn't have the infrastructure maintenance to pay on those signals, which at the minute is 58 million. If we wasn't using infrastructure costs, I would probably have them like 2 every other, because you can pack the trains closer together and they flow better like that. But there we go. Overall, an absolutely fantastic network with lots of little nice loop back things. So for example, here, look at this. We've got to check this out. So when a train comes in, if a train comes in and for some reason goes through the station to go to one of these depots, because they missed the depots going in, like the train gets halfway into the station and goes, I need to service. Normally what would happen, it would forget where it was trying to go to and it would go down to the next depot. In that case would be here. You can see that we've got a nice underpass so that the train can get back round to the station if it needs to. I mean, some people might say, well, that's a waste of track for infrastructure maintenance. You may as well just let the train get lost or go down the line and come back again. I don't know. I don't know what that would actually do. Nice use of the industry stations renewal for some of these stations. A lot of them are just the good station, which, you know, is appropriate. And you can see that there's a lot of coal mounting up here as well. Absolutely fantastic to see. A thriving network doing really well. Thank you very much for sharing that. On to the next one. Next up, we've got Maasai moving, and another valiant effort here. Look at this. We've got a massive company value of £5.2 billion with over 1,000 trains. We've got a few aircraft in there, not as many. We've got £3.5 billion in the bank account, and even here we've got a game history. In 1926 the loan was repaid. If we go over here we can see that in 1968 the Highland Highway Challenge was completed. I'm just going to move down these so that if you want to pause the video and read some extra bits you can do. But I think we've seen a lot of these before. We're interested in these later game segments and what has been happening recently in this one. So here we go, let's have a look. So in recent years we've got aeroplanes from London to New Ireland. We'll have to check out their New Ireland. Population got big, factory got started doing stuff, and everything is going pretty good. Some MacLeod upgrades there too. Let's jump up to that Highland, and we can see that the Highway Challenge is a twisty, windy dual road, which is quite nice to see, going through and around the hills, making an effort there to fit in with the hillside and actually dropping off at a place along the way. Do we have one here? Yeah, okay, so actually going to different places along the route. For me, this is one of the better ones. Not because it's particularly like, it's not like super level, skill level. It's just like the effort's been made to go around the hills and connect up some towns, and I like that. It's good, very good. Certainly better than my let's just go straight through the mountains approach. I feel that this was much cooler. I don't know where it terminates though. Does it terminate in Glasgow? It does appear to go to Glasgow, even though I'm not seeing a station there, which is a bit weird. Whole Beach Factory. Let's have a look at stuff down here. Oh my goodness. So look at this. Here's the Whole Beach Factory, and you can see we have 4. I'm guessing these are maximum size. Let's have a look. Yep, length 15, and I would just guess that they are 15 as well. So we've got 4 maximum size stations all the way around here. If you wasn't going to use ships to try and like cram extra transportation through the middle of this with some transferring, I think this is probably the best that you could do. All of these are row. All of these have 3 or 4 lanes going out or in, depending which way round you're looking at them. I think actually all of them are in. Yeah, all of them are in. So it's got 4 different lanes splitting off to multiple platforms. And you can see here that we are up to 27,000 crates of goods last month. And that's at 67% transported. I've got a funny feeling they actually noted that it was doing a little bit more than that. No, I think it's doing quite well as it is now. There's all sorts of stuff going on over here. So this looks like it might be for transferring goods and so forth. But I don't think, if you were just going to use trains to go in and out of Whole Beach, I don't think you could do too much better than this. This I think is maximum brilliance. And if you look here, we've got humpy depots to enable double depots on every single line here. Without having to split the lines apart. It's a good way of doing it. Same thing here on the exits with crossovers to allow trains to move out. And you can see here entrance and exits all right next to each other. A lot of depots there. And I don't know what's going on here at Sutton Bridge. A tiny little road system going on. What? Is that... I'm not sure, but I would guess that the tram service is so that they can increase their ratings with the local authority and slowly delete the town because it was in the way. I think that's what... I mean, look here. There's a town here with 0 population, 0 houses. I think we've got a relatively similar situation. We've got some land purchases going on around here. Yep, something else going similar on here at Spalding as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if that was part of the technique. Look at this though. We've got a coal drop-off system down here. Some pretty huge and long stations. And I think if you're going to be going for it, this is the way to go. Get your big stations in, make them nice and long, get it all sorted. And a fantastic effort there. Look at that. Maglev all the way through it. London. Oh my gracious. London, well over 500,000 in population, with a massive train station nuzzled in the centre there. The only downside for doing a station like this is that you lose a massive amount of catchment. If you look at, and I say catchment a lot, and I mean coverage. If you look at the coverage here, you can see that nearly all of the coverage on, well, in fact, all of the coverage on 3 of the sides are taken up by the land that's surrounded by the railway track and the railway track. There is only coverage over here. However, I would be very surprised if they have not got transferring going on. There you are, look. Transfer going on with the trams. So the trams are going around London, picking up people, coming in and dropping them off at this massive station. So the catchment doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. And these trains will be full of people wanting to go to various different places. So you can see... Oh, it looks like they're all going to Exeter from here. Ah, nice. Okay, so we've got that line just comes along. Again, we've got these humpy depots, double humpy depots, optional. And it looks like... Oh, they're actually doubled up as well. So each line, as the train comes down, splits in half and has... looks like double depots on each one. Yeah, double depots on each one. So the track actually has double depots. which is a fantastic way of doing it. And we just saw a peek of it, but here it is now. There's the Exeter. Or where is it? Where's the total value? Look at that. Just over 1 million in population. I guess we're doing exactly the same here. We've got a large station. We've got lots of trams coming through. They're all carrying various different passengers. That one's particularly empty for some reason. But you can see that they're all going to Exeter main station and transferring and leaving empty, which is brilliant. Love it. And it looks like, is that the HQ? Yep, there we go. There's the headquarters right in the middle of Exeter. I can't remember exactly what the headquarters gives you. I think it gives you a small boost. I'm not sure. I can't remember. It's if you can remember what the HQ bonuses the HQ gives you, pop it down in the comments. I just can't remember. But that is absolutely brilliant. You can see that the road network has been built out manually, which helps with the town expansion. The land has been flattened again. Presumably that helps with town expansion. It's not something I've tested before, but it would make sense that it would at least help with keeping it neat. And we've actually enveloped all the surrounding towns. Like this town, like where does this town end and where does it start? Or you can actually check the coverage of the town, so you can see the red houses there are one town. Everything else is Exeter. Okay, and over to the new island challenge. Let's have a look on the map first, because I think it might be cool to look at it like that. So, presumably, where is that it? No, it can't be it. There it is. Oh my goodness. We've got a mega city. Look at this. Okay, so I think we've seen this one before, but it is now even bigger, and that is brilliant. I mean, the land itself could be made bigger. I went for a very natural looking island-ish. Other people have gone for interesting elements or comical elements. This one is just a huge city. And actually, this city is bigger than their Exeter. It's nearly 700,000 people in population, which is a bit weird. Presumably, we've had quite a lot of spam of the fund new buildings to be able to get the town at that growth, which is brilliant. Let's just have a quick look around and see what other notable things we can see. We can see that the routes coming direct from the primary industries have smaller trains. That makes sense. You don't get a lot of throughput from those smaller industries, but when they come together into a pickup station, or when you are producing producing those things, like I think we've got Worksop Woods here. So is this just a transfer? It looks like a transfer. We've got the small trains coming in this way and then going under the main station and out the other way. This is a good way to have one big massive station. Something similar to what I was trying to do with my, what was it? It was East Inn at the factory. This is a much more refined version, of course. Mine was just a quick go, but this could be something that people might want to look at doing. This is a transfer though, so obviously we've got the small trains coming in on these shorter platforms, and then trains picking up and taking things out on the longer platforms, which is fantastic to see. Although, if you were at, for example, can I see an example of anything? Oh, we've got something similar over here, another transfer station. God, there's lots of that sort of thing going on. Again, lots of main lines with double humpy depots. I think that's going to have to be the official name for them. Humpy depots. No, it's double humpy depot. No, is it humpy depots? Humpy double depots. Right. They're humpy double depots, but then if you split the lines like this and double them up, they're going to have to be humpy double depots. Yeah. Probably. And we've got some sort of transverse situation going on here. I'm not quite sure what it's for. Looks like we might be having a bi-directional network here, where, yes, we are. So we've got trains coming in, dropping off goods into this particular town. It was a Sturminster? Stewminster? I'm not familiar with that town name. But then here you see you've got the shorter trains coming in, dropping off the wood at the secondary industry. They're coming from the primary industry, so they're short trains. We haven't got any double depots in round here though, but it's not as busy. So really, like, throughput would determine that a little bit. And then on the other side, where we're picking things up, we've got the longer trains. So the longer trains will pick up the goods, it will take it to the other end, and then I'm presuming that we've got a similar setup there. So if we follow this, where does this one go? Up here. This is a long line. This is quite a long maglev line. More double depots there. Some real stuff being brought into this. Looks like... Ah! I figured it out. So they're coming in and they're dropping off the goods at Peterborough from that sawmill. And then they're coming round and going to Whole Beach Factory. So even when they're picking up goods at Whole Beach Factory and taking it all the way down the end of the country, they're coming back with goods as well. So doing that, again, bi-directional stuff. I think we're going to see a lot more of this in our viewers' games and stuff. Bi-directional goods networks is the way you can do a lot of good money. Yeah, I like that. Okay, cool. Well, there is so much on this. This network is just absolutely crazy. Lots to look at here. Again, not double depots, but again, not a massively busy part of the network. King infrastructure, I think, does need double depots, but these ones seem to be doing pretty fine as they are. If we have a look at operating profit, there was a massive dip recently. I'm going to just presume that that was just like upgrading stuff or something along those lines. There is actually a bit of a downwards trend, so I'm wondering what that might well be. Remembering purchasing land and things like that doesn't affect your operating profit. If we look at the company value graph, you can see it's pretty level. So if they'd have been spending a lot of money on purchasing land, that would have dropped completely. So it's interesting to see what's happening to this company in this late phase. Could it be that vehicles and engines are getting so old and out of date that they might be breaking down too much? It might need some fixing up, but we can't say for sure. Let's just have a quick look at the money. Yep, that was lots as well. There's lots of money coming in. Let's see, where's the total income? Yes, the total income for last year was a little bit more than the year before. So there we go. Right, the last thing we'll do is check out what this looks like on the world map. And look at that. That is absolutely fantastic. Looks like some sort of integrated circuit board, doesn't it? All the logic of everything that's flowing on all around there. Absolutely fantastic. Brilliant. Fantastic effort there. Here we have Read Logistics submitted by Deadeye. So thank you very much to you. We can see that your company value is £1 billion and you've got 194 million in the bank account. And that is due to over 1,500 trains, lots of road vehicles, a few ships and aircraft thrown in there too. And what you've done is you've provided me with a nice little list of things to see. We're going to have a look at Whole Beach Factory. There's towns. On the far north line. Apparently there is a West Highland Railway. There's the far north line, East Coast Mail Line, and a West Coast Main Line. And also we've got Cornwall being populated, as well as a Wales line. So we'll keep an eye out for as much of that as possible as we go around on the map. So let's start at the map this time. So let's have a look and open up the world map. So they've kindly saved this game right over here in the middle of nowhere. And oh my goodness, look at that. Okay, so we're looking at quite the integrated network there. We can even switch to vehicle mode. You probably can't see it well on the recording, but on my 1440p screen, I can see a nice little amount of detail in the movement of the rail vehicles and so forth. But there we go. That is looking pretty good. A lot of towns are grown on this map. That's something that I noticed straight away. There are a lot of large towns. You can see right across the bottom of Wales there, right through here. All these towns are much bigger than what you would normally expect. Right, let's go and have a look at what's happening up here in the Highlands. So we got the Highland Highway Challenge. And we've got a road here. that appears. There's a train station there, but nothing really seems to be going on. And it looks like one giant tunnel. Now, when it comes to roads, you can do giant tunnels. It doesn't work for railways because you can only have one train in a tunnel at once. There's no signals in there, and trains need blocks to be able to move through the different points. But road vehicles, now you just throw them in and they'll just keep going down and come out the other side. So you can have great big long tunnels. You could do one long tunnel all the way across. But it looks like there's a stop at various different points and quite a few different places. Look at this. Inverness has grown to the point where we've actually got maglev rail networks all connected through here now. Look at this. We've got a like an East Coast line with it looks like the actual highway continues all the way up as well, which is fantastic to see. Oh my goodness, the highway goes all the way up here. Well, that is quite cool. There's even stations way out this way. Look at this. We've got a few airports and some mines and so forth. Fantastic. Let's jump all the way down the country to Hull Beach and see what we've got going on down here. So we've got a few large stations. We can certainly see this sort of design looks familiar. I've done almost exactly the same thing here with the type of terminus station that we've got. It does look like we've got a large amount of crates of goods there trying to get out of Hull Beach. Hull Beach factory, 24,000. But look at that, 93% transported. That is a very high amount of transported goods out of Hull Beach factory. And then the difference here compared to me, where I've got lots of small stations all over the place, is they've been quite organised here, and they've got 4 large stations. So we can see that we're bringing in lots of grain and livestock here on these platforms. Looks like we've got steel jumping in this way, a little bit more of the livestock and grain there, and more steel from here too. I wonder, where does this steel line go? Could it be going over to the edge of Wales? It does appear to be the case. And you see we've got a large amount of steel here waiting to come out. This again, nice clean station. Signals are good. Signals are good, and we've got optional double depots on the way in too. It's a nice way of doing it. The only downside here is that if a train is coming down this line and it's at this signal down here, it doesn't know which of these platforms are available. But to be honest, there's enough platforms available here, I think, for the trains to be able to just come forward and down, and they can still pick between these 3. So whilst it's not perfect, it's still very good. That's a nitpick, that is. And we've got ore dropping in the north and south. Okay, let's go look at all these massive cities around this chain of railway lines here. We've got some nice use of the stations here. And what we got here, this is, oh my goodness, this isn't double. This isn't humpy double depots. This is humpy double triple depots. Very nice. We're getting some terminology on today, aren't we? Yeah, look at these. All these towns are really quite big, and that's where a lot of money, I think, will be coming from. London, not as big as what I might expect, but I guess that wasn't a focus here. You've got a load of stations coming in, nestled them in with terminus stations. That's the advantage of terminus stations. You can get them close in, and the coverage that you get around the outside usually captures quite a lot of stuff, and you get a lot of people waiting to go places. Presumably then we've got this south coast line. Oh, look at this. We've got a lot of trains just queuing up. There may have just been a train that just broke down. The odd breakdown happens, I suppose. Again, we've got these humpy double triple depots. And Exeter. No, I've gone past Exeter, haven't I? No, I haven't gone far enough. Here's Exeter. So whilst it's not the biggest Exeter we've seen, it is still pretty huge. Look at that. And I think it is bigger than mine as well. More than double bigger than mine. And we've got, looks like we're bringing goods in, as well as having various different bus stops within the centre of town. And there's the passenger service. Again, a good use of these. Hang on a second. What have we got? The basic stuff in here. Yeah, yeah. It doesn't look like there's any. Oh, hang on. British station set. I don't think we included that in our Let's Play, but it's just a graphical thing, so we'll let them off. And it does look like these trains are longer than the station, though, potentially, which would hamper their loading and unloading. That would need to be fixed. But yeah, absolutely, completely trashed what I did. And let's just now see if we've got anything for the new island challenge. Look at this. Look what we got, what we got, what we got. We have something. It's a little bit further north than some of the other people have placed. What have we got here? Okay, so we've got a relatively flat, large area, which has allowed some industries to build up, which is nice. I'm guessing a lot of these industries came along naturally. I don't see why they wouldn't. Although there does appear to be some oil rigs in the middle there as well. That was something that was difficult. And I think I did say that if you wanted to use the cheat tool to remove those oil rigs for the island challenge, I would allow it if you wanted to. But here we go. We've got Ireland being founded early in the game, and they've got their own little bus service. We've got 4 stations. 5 is optimal. If you're trying to grow a city, you need 5 stations to go in an optimal growing speed for the vanilla game. And also I noticed that part of this is higher than the rest. Not sure why. I can't think why you would do that. But still, there is an island there. And it does appear to be bigger than mine. So that is very good. There's a lot of trees here. A lot of trees indeed. Let's have a look at some other highlights around here. So again, large towns. 1 train station, 4 bus stations, providing that growth for each of these towns. The effort has been put in to make sure that all of these towns have a train station linking them up and going through. That must really mess with cargo distribution though, right? So you can see here we've got quite a list of different places that these different passengers want to go to. Let's see if we can find a busier station. This one, is it busier? Yeah, we've got 3,000 people at this station. And if we look at the list of places they want to go, it's not tremendous. It's not massive. It's not massive. There are, oh, okay, it went massive for a moment then, but then I think we had a train stop. So I'm not sure if most of these lines are like self-contained lines in kind of sections. So like you've got bits that come down to one bit, and then you've got other sections that go out to other sections. I would assume so. But looking good. There's nice use of industry stations here. We've got, as you can see, we've got a train waiting to come into an empty platform. Again, when you're doing a loading station like this, I always say you need at least 3 platforms so that you can have 1 train moving in, 1 train moving out, and 1 train loading. Ideally a couple more, especially if it's a little bit busy, but there we go. You got the kind of minimum 3 platforms that are needed there. Good use of a simple junction here. Train comes round underneath so that you don't cross the lines. That's an important thing to try and do. Okay, it's not so important when your line's this busy. Like, literally there's just 1 train just going across the screen. There's a couple of trains here. Actually there a train would have had to have stopped. So it just goes to show, even on a quiet line, that train went through quicker. It's just less important, less important. And nice little large station there. This isn't the maximum size of station you can have by the looks of it. This is a 12 width by 15. So I don't know why they didn't go 15 by 15. But you know what? It certainly seems big enough and doing the job, which is nice. Speaking of big, look at these towns. These are all amazing. I don't think I've ever seen a game save from any of the viewers where so many of the towns on the map have grown so much. I wonder what the world population is. Ooh, can we find that out? I can't remember. The map of the world? I feel like there should be a way of knowing this, but I don't. Land area information is not going to help us. Headlines and messages. Oh, hang on. Is it in the towns directory? Towns. Yep, there it is. World population. 5.8 million people in this world. we'll quickly compare that to mine. So let's actually just load my game save from here while we're here, because we're going to be moving on from this one. Look at this cargo flow. We've got the cargo flow legend enabled here. If we turn the town names off, look at the cargo flow. Just goes to show where everything is moving from and to. Obviously, the red lines are overloaded, which is interesting. These, you can see that all the different bits of things that are moving in different directions. When you're playing with cargo distribution, this cargo flow legend can be much more helpful than in the normal game. Even in the normal game, it's sometimes nice to see, which is good. It's really good. And you can see there all the different things flowing out of Holbeach. No red lines there, underused, which is good for a factory challenge. Okay, let's go over to my game save now and check out what my world population is compared to the 5.8 million of this game save from Read Logistics here. So load up my game save from when I stopped on that bit, and we go to the world population. I knew I'd seen world population somewhere before. Oh, look at that. A measly 1.7 million. Nowhere near as big. Nowhere near as big. Well, there we go, folks. That has been those 3 game saves that I have been able to show you today. I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who played along with this series and submitted your game saves. I'm sorry if anybody did submit them and I wasn't able to feature them in any of the viewer featured videos. But my Series 10 is going to be a play-along Let's Play like this one. So, if you want to be within a chance of being able to have your network shown, then do feel free to take part in that. All the information about how to take part will be at the beginning of the first episode of Series 10 when that's available. And if that's already available, there'll be a playlist on my YouTube channel. So there we go. Not only thank you very much to those people who played along and submitted the game saves, but thank you very much to everybody who viewed, who commented, who shared it and liked as well to make this series what it is. And also thank you very much to everybody on the Discord who's chatted to me about OpenTTD, helped each other out in the OpenTTD help channel, and just the fantastic community that's grown up around this channel. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I started creating content to show my friends how to play OpenTTD so we could play it together. And the reason why I continue to make content is because of the fantastic community that's grown up around that. So thank you very much, everybody. It's an absolute honour and privilege to do this with you, for you, and all of that sort of brilliance. If you want to support me, you can look at Viewer Plus. It's obviously completely optional, but it is a way to do so if you want to. And that's going to be all for this series. It's been an absolute blast. It's been a challenge. And the next one will be a challenge, but in different ways. I can't wait. Looking forward to it. But that is going to be all for now. I'll see you then. From me, for now, take care and goodbye.